And let's read this first big story from Project Veritas. I can already hear the clacking knees of the YouTube ban agents or moderators with their fingers over the ban button, shaking, saying, "Say the wrong thing, we're gonna ban your show." Because we're about to talk about something big. Project Veritas reports military documents about gain of function contradict Fauci testimony under oath. Military documents state that EcoHealth Alliance approached DARPA in March 2018 seeking funding to conduct gain of function research of bat-borne coronaviruses. The proposal, named Project Diffuse, was rejected by DARPA over safety concerns and the notion that it violates the gain of function research moratorium. The main report regarding the EcoHealth Alliance proposal leaked on the internet a couple months ago. It has remained unverified until now. Project Veritas has obtained a separate report to the Inspector General of the Department of Defense, written by U.S. Marine Corps Major Joseph Murphy, a former DARPA fellow. The proposal does not mention or assess potential risks of gain of function research, a direct quote from the DARPA rejection letter. Project Veritas reached out to DARPA for comment regarding the hidden documents and spoke with the chief of communications, Jared Adams, who said, quote, "It doesn't sound normal to me," when asked about the way the documents were buried. Now, I want to say a few things before we get started. Very simply, consult your doctor and don't take any of this as medical advice. We're not here to provide that, and take it all with a grain of salt. I've seen a lot of people jump on this and say, I see two things. One, the left saying you can't trust Project Veritas. Their information is no good, and that therefore it's bad. I see people on the right saying this is definitive proof. It's finally what we were looking for. Let me just state, this reporting by Veritas, very well done. Very, very well done. Veritas didn't just come out and release a letter from a Marine Corps major assessing certain information and then trying to claim it's true. They actually got corroborating evidence of an intercept story. This is from September 23rd, 2021. Leaked grant proposal details high-risk coronavirus research, where they specifically mention Project Diffuse, which Project Veritas has now corroborated. This is a left-wing publication, and Project Veritas getting documents on the same thing. Suffice it to say, the left's assessment of Project Veritas being wrong is untrue. That being said, the assessment from the U.S. Marine Corps major is just that. It is his analysis of undisclosed documents. Trust him if you want to trust him, or don't. I think it's very important to make sure that you take into consideration it's not someone involved in the projects admitting to anything. It's someone who had been at DARPA saying, I read these documents and here's my analysis. That being said, I don't know, Luke, if you want to start bringing up some of these points that you thought were most alarming.
Yeah, I mean, if these documents are true, I mean, there's a lot of big implications here, because this shows how EcoHealth Alliance was seeking DARPA funding in specific gain of function research related to bat coronaviruses. They called this Project Diffuse. And allegedly, according to these documents, this was rejected by DARPA in 2018 because of safety concerns, and it would violate a lot of course, the protections that are in the United States that don't allow this kind of dangerous work, which could lead to some very serious ramifications. What did NIAID do? What did EcoHealth Alliance do after this? They just simply said, well, there's no regulations and safety concerns in China where the Chinese government gets to do whatever they want as long as they oversee every step of the process. And essentially, I think it's fair to assume now that they took this very dangerous work, which allegedly, according to these documents, DARPA didn't want to do because it was too dangerous, it was too unsafe, and they just did it in China, which proved that there was some warning, some hindsight here that should be, of course, known about, that should be talked about. There was also U.S. Senator Rand Paul questioning Dr. Fauci about a lot of this. There's also the GOP Oversight Committee releasing the emails and the communications with NIAID, specifically showing how Dr. Fauci is being accused of concealing about a lot of the origin of this story coming from that Wuhan laboratory where this dangerous function studies were being sent to, and downplaying this lab leak theory. That's big.
We had it was Peter Navarro who was on the show, and he said that at the time they were having these meetings about COVID and this potential pandemic, Fauci was there and did not disclose to them the things he had known about gain of function, about EcoHealth Alliance. And even if they didn't believe the lab leak theory or hypothesis or whatever, don't you think Fauci should have told the Trump administration, hey, there's something we considered, and it's this, that it may have come from this lab?
You would think that if that administrative state answered to the executive branch, which apparently I'm learning in my adult years that it doesn't necessarily play second fiddle to the executive branch. What I'm saying is the administrative state, these people that have been there for 40 years, Fauci, been in that job for 40 years, he doesn't answer to Joe Biden.